Hello, Democrats. And it's time to introduce myself, I hope, more as we approach the general election. My name is John Clark, and I'm running against Mark McDonald, who has been a Democrat senator or House member for most of the last 39 years. I've met Mark before. We've always been pleasant. We exchanged signatures on our applications to run, but we don't agree on policies at all. And as you'll see in my comparison page, we have quite different views of how to represent Vermonters. But whatever else we do, I think we need a two-party system. And it seems like in Vermont, there's more and more of a push to eclipse anybody who is a Republican because they're all evil. And I'm really excited because I've been out on the campaign trail and I've been meeting Democrats. And at first they're like, oh, I don't know. And then they hear my policies. And some of you even apologized and said, well, I'm sorry. Give me your card back. Let me look more. Because when they meet me and understand my qualifications and what I sincerely wish to do to help reverse regressive taxes and electricity rates and other things that are hurting Vermonters, or when they see whether I really genuinely want to fund the pensions and I see it as a crisis and I have mediation experience and it shouldn't be teachers and state workers pitted against taxpayers, and that's where we're headed with a nearly $10 billion deficit. When they see what I want to do for farmers and that I understand soil and agriculture and water and energy use and how everything's shifting to make local food more productive and how young people are moving here and want to grow food or stay here and grow food and how my farming plan of 2 years ago will help them do that. Well, those are all things that I've just listed that are essentially, no, they are nonpartisan because everyone benefits. And conservatives have a voice and some ideas to bring to this table. So I'm really excited to meet you, and I'm asking you. Some people just attack me with ad hominems. They don't really know anything about me when they do that. But bring criticisms, ask me questions. Because especially, has anyone noticed what's happened? Molly Gray was just demolished by Becca Balint. And Becca Balint is telling Vermonters, including Democrats, that the most important issues in 2022 are gay rights, transgender rights, climate change, and abortion rights. Nobody's coming after the abortion rights of Vermonters. Nobody's coming after gay marriage or transgender rights of Vermonters other than gender hormone therapy for prepubescent children, which we should be talking about. But my policies are things that do unite us, and they count. They're about people who are worried about how they're going to heat and eat and heal with medicine this winter, because all three of those things are going up dramatically. It's not about some identity politics. That's not what's going to confront Vermonters as we head into an inflationary cycle with food problems and increasing degradation of our ecosystem. The number one area to both reduce carbon dioxide but also pollution is agriculture. And Vermont is the leader in the country in agriculture, and it is our culture. And so, Democrats, I want to meet you. 5 or 6 out of 10, maybe more, that I've met understand that we can work together on the pensions and must. That we can work together to help Vermont more affordable, particularly for our elderly and others on fixed income, and for our young people who want to just have an ability to earn some money and grow some food. This is our future as well as our past. And whether you're born here or not, whether you're a Democrat or not, it doesn't matter. Stay a moderate Democrat and work with me to support these issues. We don't want a one-party monolith because we see what's happened. This has been nothing more than a bully ideological attack on Vermonters by people who have really earned our distrust. I want to earn your trust. I want an opportunity to show Democrats that I can work for everybody, even though I'm a so-called Republican or conservative. I want to conserve energy. I want to conserve our traditions. I want to conserve our schools and so many other things. And so I really am looking forward to this general election conversation and how we can find the things in these perilous times to bring people together. And that means moderate Republicans and moderate Democrats. And maybe many of you are seeing after the Molly Gray-Becca Balint exchange that you have a bigger crisis on the far left in Vermont. You don't have a crisis on the far right. We're not white supremacists in Vermont. We don't have KKK running around except in minuscule numbers. I've never even met one. But I sure can see a prominent number of very, very heavily out-of-state financed far-left extremists that are using Vermont for their experimental playground at the expense of those on low income, at the expense of our children, and the expense of Vermonters who just want to be able to afford here and enjoy the culture. They don't live here to be rich. They live here for the richness of that culture, which is under bold attack. Democrats, join us because we can come back to the center of the Constitution, fiscal integrity, fund our pensions, fix stuff together rather than one party bullying the other and both extremes causing more and more division. That's not who Vermonters are. And I'm so happy, Democrats, to be meeting so many of you who understand the priority of food, inflation, affordability, and the crisis that is the pensions. It's a huge problem. And some people say, well, I don't get a state pension, so I don't care. And I said, well, if you pay taxes, you have to pay the pension. And if you look at my writings, it's an absolutely huge liability for future Vermonter generations, but also for the current one. How are we going to pay it? How are we going to keep our obligations? I have a tax law background. I have a history of working with people in recovery and in a lot of different situations. And I'm bringing compassion, I'm bringing ideas, and I'm bringing creative solutions to those things that a lot of people don't want you to look at, which is how our pensions have been so horribly mismanaged. Everybody loses by that. If we fix it together, everybody can gain. So please comment here. Please look at my website. Please come and meet me at an event. Don't be afraid of me. I'm just like everybody else. I'm not the boogeyman. And I'm really excited to be crossing that divide and helping us come back to that center that we need for us to work together on our shared problems in 2022 and beyond. Thanks very much for listening, Democrats.